This is not good. We have to get rid of these and save these in a global variable. Did I write this already somewhere? I guess it's one of the steps I have to do. Let's go. Can I just... I can't... I think I need this. I should save this. Whoops. Hey, cool, it has already the names. That's good. I can get rid of these. And get rid of these. All right. So we will fire this. And we will refire this when ability is done. Until these arrays are empty. Can I give these an ID? Fire ability sounds too much like the ability itself. This is important. Do I know this here already? I guess I have to move it when I do the ability. Maybe I should also give informations like where the arena is. And then from the arena I could get more informations. Although I think I don't have the arena here. Well, whatever. We will see. Ah, man. It's kinda stupid. I wonder if I cannot... This must be solvable with sequences, no? My problem right now is I cannot find very quick how to run a sequence on a specific position, so the FX and so on place right there, and then I also have to add triggers and so on, which should trigger something in here to do some action, as in get more health, damage enemy, something like that. And then there must be a calculation. With a sequencer, I would be probably more able to shape the visual art of that thing and align the exact action to the effect, like popping up numbers and so on. I have to push this to... Oh! What a timing! Right when I needed you. Welcome. I was right about to say I should push this back until das was wert is back. Not zombie, it's zombo. Anyway, here's the deal. I am right at the part where I am designing the abilities. As in the abstract ability, how it goes. It should do some stuff. I'm not sure if this painting helps, but for example, we have the Orpling, and if the Orpling does a magic, it will have a charge up animation. Then something happens to the enemy, for example, like a meteor crashing into it, and in the crash there is of course an explosion, but also a number, and then I will clean up. I guess you could call it phases, but it's not phases. Now the thing is, to do all this, it would be cool to use sequences, because in a sequence I could play around with the timeline for the effects. You know what I mean? Like shape the animation and so on, so it looks cool, and then fire particles in the right positions, whatever. Yes, yes. But these phases doesn't need to be set like this. It can be other things. It's a free thing. But these are elements that will happen in a combination, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But for this to be easy to handle, I would need sequences, I think. I could implement this without sequences, but then I wouldn't have a visual while working on it. Catch my drift? Now the thing is, having a sequence, how does the sequence know where to do all of this? As in position. Is this possible? You are in a... You are thinking about things that I already solved. That doesn't matter for me right now. I don't need to handle this after whatever. What I need to handle is firing a sequence which I shaped, but in a specific position. What do I do with sequences so they are in a specific position? I mean, the rest is baby stuff. I know how to do that. But I never worked with sequences, so I don't know how to spawn them in a position, for instance. Is that even a possibility? Because when I Google 2016, there was not a feature like this. Yes, because the enemy is not always in the same place. I need to fire a sequence that is right at the front left slot of the enemy. And then the explosion needs to happen there. And the charge up thing, is its own sequence, for instance, which needs to happen where the player is. Or the player's thing. Niagara. Well, that's the particle system. For that I would spawn it in a position. Is every effect I do in Niagara? I see. So, no sequences means also no events that I can use for the actor, the ability actor to signal, okay, calculate now, do this now. I know, but I didn't find. Sadly, I did not find. I mean, if you do a sequence, these are all defined in a position, no? They are not relative positions, they are world positions, no? How do I spawn something? Actor sequence. Actor the sequence. Level loaded signal. Maybe this is wrong what I'm doing. I just believe that having a timeline would help me to shape the ability where I can set some events and so on that I can read from my actor and then fire some things like particles, whatever. Maybe even have the particles here instead. But if you don't know it from your head, then probably this is not possible. This looks very world positionally. Relative actor movement, wait. Interesting. My sound is gone? What do you mean? It was not gone, I just removed the background music. Okay, he gets the cube. But what if the cube is not in the level? The cube is getting spawned first. Oh god, then I have to reference it somehow and whatever. I think this is way too complicated. I could, but I now decide that I won't use sequences. I think it's fine. Whatever. Now, let's do the struct. We will call it ability actions struct, I guess. Ability action struct. And this little guy needs a timing which we call trigger time. Then action command. Don't worry, man, don't worry. Don't worry, the solution I have will also work. You're worried. Action command. Maybe a payload. Yes, what's the... But I am the artist. Why should I cry? I'm not talking.
What up, what up? Winboys here, and today I'm excited to show you guys how you can control your particles inside of the sequencer and Unreal Engine. Now to get started, I have a blank scene. I'm just going to delete this right here, player start, and then I'm going to show you guys the particle collection I'm going to be using. So if I come to my Epic Games Store, and I scroll down here, this is actually the one I'm going to be using. It's the Volume 2 Fire and Flame. I'm just going to click Add to Project. I'm going to find my project that I'm using right there. Click Add. And while this is adding to here, this is downloading, I'm just going to click on it so you guys can kind of see the pack and everything. What's been going on. So let me make this a
Oh my god.
on my keyboard. There we go. So I'm getting rid of all the icons and everything. If I zoom in here, it is. This is just for, and this way I can kind of keyframe when I want to turn it on and off. But it's not going to be in like a keyframe in the fashion that we're thinking of. We have to do it in a particular way to make it start at frame 60. But before we do that, I'm going to click on the camera here to add a camera and the camera cuts. So now I have a camera in my scene. If I look at my world outliner, you see we have a cinema camera in here, which I could pull back a little bit. And we should have it. Yeah, there we go. I'll do a cinematic viewport. Make sure I have my camera selected. There we go. So let's say we want a camera here and we want our sequence to start at like frame 60. So if I come over to frame 60, there's no way down here.
And what does it entail?
That I can see that, like, you know, if I click on my fire, it's like, okay, where do I go to make it start at frame 60? So if I come down to my fire 05, click the track button, then scroll up here where it says particle.
I don't understand.
Toggle track. I'm gonna click on this, and down here is what I come up with.
Which sounds very rude if you say that to someone. You say exactly what's your point then?
Section here called particle system. If I click on activate, it's going to give us 3 different options here. So I'm going to leave this one actually at activate.
I see.
And right here, I have the plus key. I'm going to click on this to add a keyframe. You can see that once I click the keyframe, it added a line here, and that shows that it's going to extend for the entirety of my sequence. But if I come over to frame 0, you can see that it's not stopping at all. Like if I click play, it's still going. And so we kind of have to tell Unreal that we want to have it deactivate, because if I click play here, yeah, it's working there and it's going to ignite. But when we actually go to,
Okay, this is baby level.
let's then down, and now fine to act. Fine.
This is so useless.
Sequence project.
Does no one need this to be like in a specific point? Like, for instance, the player walks somewhere and in a time frame there must be an explosion next to him or something or whatever, a magical effect, very complicated, but it needs to be always in his general direction somewhere, and the camera needs also to run around him. So you cannot use a sequencer for that. You have to hard code it somehow. Well, it's not hard coded, but coded. Yeah, go ahead. I don't care. Here in chat or in Discord. Taking very long, my friend. One second is over. What do you mean WhatsApp? I said Discord. Oh my god. I don't care anymore. I won't use anything. I don't know. I cannot trust you. You broke my trust so many times. I'll go the monkey way. And what do you want me to do with that? You have a sphere that is already in there. Convert to spawnable. How can I instantly do something spawnable instead of having it in the level first? Is that a possibility? I want something be spawnable here without putting it in the level first and then converting it into spawnable. That possible? Even if this will be extremely complicated because the spawning happens somewhere else. No, not a procedural sequence animation. I mean this. I have an object in the level called level is loaded signal. Doesn't matter, it could be a sphere or whatever. I press that and then I go right click, convert to spawnable. Is there a way doing this without having that shit here first? The object itself, I don't care. The position is very important. Oh my god. I go the monkey way. Yes, because the object, I can't spawn whatever. I understand that. I can do whatever in there. But that thing that needs to happen in a very specific point in the world, not in a set position where I say the middle is okay. It is dynamic. It must be dynamic. I need to fire this set of things in a specific point in the world. And that is by getting the position of the Orpling that is targeted. I don't know. When I give it to them, how does the animation know? Yeah, local position is in world position here. And I do it like in the screenshot, like add section, and then, I didn't see the right place. And then it just puts it where when it's relative. What does that mean? Where is relative? Doesn't it actually make that sphere to be position 0, 0, 0, but in the world it's where it was spawned at? No, this is not what I want, what you have there, sadly. This is actually just normalizing. Well, it's not normalizing, but it makes it set to 0 so you can work with it better, I guess. Making it a relative position on the world. But I don't want that. I want to fire something specific in a specific position and not make something in the world be relative. Sadly, this doesn't help me, my friend. Well, whatever. So this needs to be an array. And then when we are in that thing, I can go here and say do damage, and then in the payload I give it a number like base damage is 100. Maybe I can also say do damage physical, and then I can get some numbers from my stats and so on. And then the trigger time is exactly at 6.5 seconds, because there is the end of the explosion or something. And that's not all. I can also say, hey, at 4 do explosion fx without a payload, because it knows what to do, and it makes that particle whatever. And then I would build that thing here. Now the sad part here is, although not sad, but maybe I would need to make a sequence for camera flights and then trigger them from here. The camera flights would be, I don't know, they can be set. They don't matter to be dynamic, because I could say camera flights left to right for slot 1 or something, and then it's a set whatever. Oh my god. Actor rebinding in blueprints with sequence. Creating a cinematic for gameplay purposes. There may be times when you want to animate an object in sequencer that is dynamically spawned at runtime. No, that doesn't. I don't care about that. For example, you can create and animate an object that moves along a path in a sequencer, but the object is something which can be defined by the player as spawned during gameplay. I don't care. With the help of Blueprint visual scripting, you can expose binding and by the blah 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 blah. In this example, we animate and move an empty actor along a path, allowing the player to change the object to different effects. I don't care. What I would care would be the position of this path. What I want to do is set a position for this path dynamically. All the rest I know how to do. I don't care about that. This just exchanges some things for the animation. Now we will exchange it to whatever. Yeah, this is not what I want. I don't care about exchanging, but always being in that same position in the world. I don't care about that. No, this is not a problem. I did these things way more complicated than that. No, not relative position. A given position in the world. Relative position is not the thing. Although maybe I could play around with relative position by always being in the middle of the screen, and then I would need to have 3 different sequences for 3 different slots. I would copy that one animation 3 times to have it in 3 different positions in the world. Even 6, because there are 6 positions. No, even 8 positions. Then I would make a sequence copied 8 times for different positions. That's stupid. I can't. That's not what I want. Not relative, I need dynamic. Relative means that number is at 0. That does not matter. And I hope I don't misunderstand relative. No, the animation keys should act dynamically. Relatively, I don't care. Because it can be world or relative. We don't care because the position is set in the world is always at 000 because the arena is always at 000. But the animation will be triggered not only in one relative position or world position, it can be triggered at 8 different positions. Yes, and how do I tell it to be in a specific position in that moment? Where Orpling 1 attacks Orpling B. And then I want the same animation because Orpling 2 attacks Orpling C. It doesn't matter if it's relative to a defined origin. I can also set a very, very specific position in the world, because relative is 0, 0, 0 anyway, which means the world position is relative already. The area, the arena doesn't move around. It's always at 0, 0, 0. Animation keys override locations for every frame. Why would I key that? I think you're misunderstanding what I want. Because it would be easier to handle events. I would key some events. Instead of doing this time, trigger, whatever, these things in a array of whatever, I could have a timeline where I can move them around. Good. I hope you do. Well, if you want to call them phases, but they are not phases, they are specific triggers. Yes, events. They are called events in sequence. Event keys. But do I need them positions anyway? Maybe I don't need them because I could do the events there and then still have it here. Why they need a specific dynamic location is because Orpling 1 attacks Orpling B, but it can also attack Orpling A. They have different positions. But I guess the trigger itself could be there, and then I would define from a thing here where to attack anyway. I guess. In my initial head, it was like I have this sequence and then I can play around and I have the animation and so on there, but I think it wouldn't be able to do that anyway because I never know the position. I wouldn't see it. Way too complicated. Way too complicated. Probably is, yes. I guess I would need for doability also a payload where I can know who is getting attacked or where the animation whatever has to happen and so on. A payload with different information. I can use them here plus with this timeline thing. I don't have multiple probably, I have only one. Just one. I'm not so sure about sequence because I think it is a little wonky. Having the event keys and the game lags out, then the event key sometimes could be not triggered. That was the feeling I had, if it doesn't land specifically on that thing. Maybe this is not the way I should go. Sounds risky. And since it's just timeline, it really isn't that much of a difference for me right now. I wonder how someone else would solve this. How would they design or shape this effect like an RPG ability sequence? How would they make this asset? I am right? About what? Doing Blueprints 2017. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, this is risky. I remember this happening to me. Yeah, sadly. my game should be playing smooth, but you never know what the user would do with this PC. Maybe someone plays on its laptop and it's overheating, and it will lag a lot. I mean, the other timelines, except the event key, they work because they have this area thing you can shape. And if your thing lands on that area, then it triggers. But for event keys, it's just a point, sadly. Oh well. But I guess having the sequence to work with all my things would be very, very complicated. Because I wanted to see the particles and whatever in that thing where I can play around, but I think it's not meant for that. It is meant for cutscenes, maybe. Which my things kinda are, but cutscenes that are dynamically anywhere in the world, which it can probably not handle. On top of that, we have the event key problem, which needs to fire because this actor needs to do something by calculating. Oh, hello, Neko. Welcome. Okay. We will need this functionality, and this guy will need a payload. Now the thing is, do I do a string or do I do a string of an array of strings? Sorry. The ability itself will know some things, but it will not know the position where it should spawn things and so on. Spawn itself even. This thing will be spawned and it needs the payload to move itself to the position, and then it can do other things, I guess. Yeah. So having this, I could give it... Can I? Damn. I would need to choose which enemy to attack here. What exactly is convoluted? I mean, I already cluttered or decluttered? How would you say that? Many things, because this do abilities, set Orpling and competitor for list is something like that. And then we have this little thing, get ability from class, which is this thing. So I did make it a little bit more neat already, if that is what you want to say. Ah, okay, yes. As a paradigm, or no, not paradigm, as a mantra maybe. Stop calling it face! I don't want to call them face! Don't anchor me! God damn it! They're not faces! That's funny. Ah, fuck! I wanted to stop at 10 PM, man. And I'm still going. Okay, where do we do this? If we choose our Orpling, which is already chosen for us, this guy needs a function which gives us 4 slots or slots orders. It will fight the enemy. As in, that thing has a characteristic or something inside which is in a table which will tell us, okay, first off, little thing to know. We have a maximum of 4 relevant slots. The other one are back slots. Like for the summoner, there are more. They are here. They are not relevant. There are 3 front orplings and the player. In a round, they are the relevant things. Of course, a simple encounter will only have 3 slots, front slots, which will be with orplings or not. They can be inside there or not. Doesn't matter. Now, this one is slot 0, 1, 2, and 3. And here is 0, 1, 2, and we don't have a 4. So an orpling, you will not tell the orpling what to do. You can only change the formation. Because, not 4, because the standard encounter is not a thing with a player. You walk on the world and then there are orplings that attack you. They don't have a summoner. So there are only always 3 facing you. In multiplayer, it will be always this against another one of this. There are always 4 slots. Doesn't matter. This guy, you as a player don't tell him what to do. You just change the formation, and for the formation it has an ability or not which it can use. But who will it use it to? Against? If it's an attack, it needs to attack one of those things. And from there, depending on its characteristic, it will have an order. It will have an array, which can be 0, 2, 1, 3, for example. Which means... well, wait, this combination doesn't work. Or it does work. It will try to kill this guy first, if there is a guy here. If there is no one here, it will try to kill this one. And if these are missing, then it will go for the middle one. So depending on the characteristic table, which will be, I don't know, a mood or whatever, like happy, sad, angry, and then it has also like a modifier where it's I don't know, egoistic, chaotic, and so on. And depending on the combination of these things, you have like an order like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, or when it can be 1, 3 to 0, and so on. Depending on how you train it, it will have a different order. You can't choose it in the fight, you can choose it while training it. Like, you give him a carrot, yum yum, but that makes him egoistic. And he was already sad, so it has this thing. You know what I mean? Yes, semi-fixed. I don't know exactly how I will do this. Maybe it's not a table, maybe it's something else, whatever. But it will be something not in the fight, but for training. You as the player probably don't even know this. Maybe there is a, I don't know, a book you can find somewhere where it says, hey, I as a long-time trainer know that if you have happy and egoistic, then that guy will always first kill the right one and whatever. You know? So as the time progresses, you will know what to do. Sorry. But as a... Excuse me. Exactly. At first you will think it is random. And then after a while, either you find something, or you talk with someone, or you go to your stats and find, hey, what is this thing? Like, it's characteristic? Why is it, what does it matter if it's egoistic or not? And after a while you will maybe find out that this combination, if I have two Orblings, the same thing, they attack the same guy first. You know, it is like, after a while you will find some mechanics. Either by learning it from some random NPC, from story and so on. But you will learn the combinations, I guess. So how can I implement this as a dummy? Do I do fixed order? And after that, I can implement a function to make that fixed order a semi-fixed order, as you called it. Yeah. But I need a function to call something, and then it doesn't need to implement it yet, but it needs to return a test test order. So the order, where would I get it? So we have the fighting entity, but that thing should not do stuff. Orpling fighting entity on the other hand. Interesting, where do I use this? Oh, okay. Does this guy ask it? Or does the battle controller ask it? I think that thing is stupid. It doesn't need to know. I think I need a function here. Get Orpling targets. And while we are here, the order of attack for the enemy is okay, but what do I do with the things when it needs to do something with the allies? I mean, most healing things will be an area healing where everyone is healed. But I guess I will also have things where only a specific guy will be targeted. Do I go with the least amount of health then, or something? More complications. We will find out. Anyway. For now, we go with the slots order, and maybe I will find some other way to do this, where not only it looks for the slot order, maybe it also has, like, if it's sadistic for instance, it will always go for the least amount of health. Thank you for the autosave, so I cannot finish writing. Can I not give this a... Do I need to do this? Okay then, fine. This is fine. So now we can do this. Of course, this would need Orpling ID. Okay, we need the competitor, which is the current competitor. Current Orpling ID. Get was in here. Current. No. Battle group. Actually, battle group, and then internal what is it called? Group? Yeah. So okay, find I want to do these things inside. Okay, so ID goes in and current competitor goes in. Current comp. Oh my god. Competitor abstract. Give me that. Alright. Current. Maybe just the Opling, which is a fighting entity. Give me that. Yes. Come on, man. All right. This. And then internal. Break. And then from here I would get the thing I need, which I don't have right now. Like, I don't know, happy, whatever. And then I can calculate here. So now, oh damn. Okay, we have the current, but we also need the target competitor. I want to scream. Sorry. All right. see, there are the slots. And with this, I would do that. I would have the slot. I guess this needs to be inside here instead of this shooting that. But what if I have a ability that is like an 8 instead of a attack? My favorite form of transportation. Teleportation. Then none. All of them suck. Okay, dude. My brain is fried. I think I'm done for today. Holy shit. This will be a very long journey to finish this ability stuff. Anyway, thanks for your ping pong. Even though I came to a decision, we explored some other ways. Maybe there is still an ideal solution to this, but yeah. Yeah, but I'm not sure if my solution with the construct itself is a good idea, because it can get very convoluted and not easy to handle. Yeah, sadly they are shit. Anyway, very appreciated. I guess without you I would have thought more about it and wouldn't have come to a decision. And Echo, thanks for tuning in also. You're still there? I see a number 2 on the feed, so you're still there. Wert? What do you mean Wert? What does that mean? I'm not. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for support. And I see you guys next time. Bye-bye.